Hey there, I'm Sandra McLemore, and I have trekked both the globe and the travel industry for over 25 years. From my first steps as a travel agent to my exciting career as a travel TV host and contributor on network news and morning shows. And now, coaching over 42,000 travel entrepreneurs. You guys, I've seen the highs and the lows of what it means to market and sell travel. Whether you're taking your very first steps in the industry or scaling up to reach amazing new goals, perhaps feeling a little bit adrift and looking for a compass, you, my friend, are in the right place. In each episode, we're going to learn from stories that inspire, strategies that work, and conversations that dive deep into the heart of starting up and scaling a travel business. Fasten your seatbelts, stow away your doubts, and prepare for takeoff. This is your boarding pass to the Travel, Marketing, and Media Podcast. We got so many emails this week, questions about our event, Website in a Weekend. The Website in a Weekend experience has become super well known amongst travel advisors. It is talked about in Facebook groups, in chats, and all for good reason. The reason is because you literally turn up on day one empty-handed and you leave on day two with a website. And for some people, they are able to connect to their website immediately. I would say more than half. And for just under half, they need a couple of days or a couple of weeks just to make some final decisions, to have a think over some of their strategy or to tidy up a few little bits and pieces. So in today's episode, I'm going to answer the most frequently asked questions, but I'm also going to share with you some beautiful feedback that we received from 2 travel advisors. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I want to share with you 2 travel advisors' experiences. I'll do one, then I'll answer a couple of questions, and then I'll do the other one as well. Now, even if you are not interested in Website in a Weekend, stay listening to this because you might hear some tips from the travel advisors or get some ideas from the Q&A on how you can improve your current website. Or perhaps you know a travel advisor who hates their website. Perhaps it's something that might not be on the cards for you now, but maybe will be later. So Lisa Trainer signed up for Website in a Weekend, and I want to talk to you about what her experience was like. And I'm going to read that to you in her own words. Lisa says, I chose to do Website in a Weekend because I wanted a website that I could be proud of, one that reflected me as a travel advisor, one that would inspire potential clients, and one that would represent my brand to the best of its ability. I knew that my website was not it. I wasn't proud of it, therefore I did not promote it. And that made no sense. I knew my website was my storefront and needed to be the best it could be, but I needed serious help to get it there. Once I clicked the Register Now button for Website in a Weekend, I felt this huge sense of relief. Help was on the way. I started to get nervous, but reminded myself that my DIY attempt could not get any worse. So this particular weekend was going to only improve the situation. Once I started receiving emails from Sandra on things we needed to do before the workshop, I was nothing but excited. They were so helpful and really made the pre-workshop planning process easy and much less intimidating. I was very uncertain about my ability to write effective copy. I did not know how to pick inspiring pictures or how to lay out the framework. I am not a web designer, and that's why I needed help. And I'll just interrupt Lisa's words here really quickly to say, in the group that Lisa went through, we taught them how to write their copy. Every season, it's a little bit different. This season, for example, spring of 24, we are actually writing the copy for you, so you don't have to do it. So Lisa goes on to say, I felt very supported and encouraged throughout the weekend. Having the travel marketing and media team in a private chat room to fix any issues in real time was fantastic. And I'm going to interrupt Lisa's words again. We have even more refined and improved the system that private chat room's not even necessary anymore because we made videos for you to be able to review. So we're going to work from top to bottom of each page, but there's a video for each page showing you exactly how to update every little section on there. And you get to keep those videos so that you can refer back to them if you decide that you want to skip a step and keep moving forward with us and go back to that step later. So Lisa goes on to say, having our questions answered was so helpful. It made the entire process make more sense. Building the website in real time, going step by step, not only built my site, but gave me the knowledge I needed to be able to run and work in my site. That is huge, she says. Lisa goes on to say, I can make changes. I understand how my website works and I don't have to be intimidated anymore. I am so proud of it. I love it. It was so worth it. There were so many highlights, but seeing my website come together and be a representation of my brand is the cherry on top of the ice cream, on top of the cake. It now really is something I am proud of. It clearly defines my niche. It speaks to those I want to work with. I'm so glad that I made this investment and I would recommend it to anyone. I love this for her because you know what? When people visit your website, they're really looking for three things. Number one, they're looking to know that you are an actual expert with experience, basically that you say that you are who you say you are. Number two, that the type of travel that they enjoy is something that you have vast knowledge in, that you can offer them ideas, match them up to the very best accommodation or experiences. And number three, that you have happy clients. So we make sure that your website says and confirms all of those things. Your travel business deserves, and so do you, do so much better. Can you imagine going from a DIY-looking brand to a sophisticated and professional brand, to random travel images, from random travel images to niche and audience-targeted images, from words that don't even make sense to words that make people take action, from quick visits to your website to return visitors and people who bookmark your site and keep coming back for more. Isn't that the ultimate flex? Someone who saves your website to their bookmarked toolbar? From curious searchers to confirmed appointments in your calendar. From outdated content on your site to quick edits that you can make with confidence at any time. So let's have a look at some of the questions that we have been asked. I love one of these questions here specifically. Oh, I don't have it in front of me, but I remember what it was. I saw it come through the inbox yesterday. And a travel advisor asked, is this for me if I am an independent contractor working in somebody else's travel agency, or is this only for the agency owner? Let me tell you, I am so glad that you asked that question because firstly, it made me realize that we did not mention that or address that on our page. So we're going to go ahead and add that today. So thank you so much. The answer to that question, I think you'll be surprised to know that half of the people that come through website in a weekend, and we have had hundreds, are actually independent contractors that fall under an existing agency. And if they're not, they fall under a host agency, which also makes them independent contractors. One of the things that makes me the happiest in my role as a mentor and as a coach is to see travel advisors who come out from underneath a franchise or an agency and really say, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to build a massive email list full of potential new clients and leads. I'm going to learn how to drive traffic to my website. I am going to have thousands of people who are in my email list that I can email anytime I have an amazing travel opportunity, and I own that email list. Because you know what a lot of people don't think about? If you were to move agencies, if you were to go to a different travel agency or change host agencies, change consortia, if you were to go out and become independent, you may not own your email list. I am shocked at the number of advisors that upload their email addresses, their email lists, into systems that other people market for them. That blows my mind. I cannot imagine uploading my email list for travel marketing and media for somebody else to send marketing to. In no world could I imagine that. It is the most valuable asset that I own. I remember last week I was in Cancun and I was speaking at an event and I brought up the whole thing about Bed Bath & Beyond. I've been calling them Bed Bath & Bankrupt. Bed Bath & Beyond, and how when they went bankrupt and filed for Chapter 11, the company that bought them, I don't know if you're aware of this, the company that bought them was Overstock. And you know what Overstock asked for? Overstock asked for not one towel, not one store, Nothing. They wanted one thing. They wanted the email list. And in June of 2023, they paid $21.5 million to acquire their intellectual property. That's how important an email list is. They're like, we don't want any towels. We don't want any floor mats, no curtains, no pots and pans, no containers. We just want the email list. We don't even want the buildings that you own. We just want the intellectual property. Because with an email list, that business's value was through the roof. If you have plans to sell your book of business down the track, and you should, because at some stage, you will decide that you don't want to run this travel business anymore. It could be retirement, it could be old age, it could be a new venture. You don't just shut down your business. If you have built an email list, your business will be worth something. You might not have systems, you might have all these other things, but you will have a website and you will have an email list. And I will tell you, I got the first offer on travel marketing and media when I was only 3 years into my business for multiple millions of dollars. And I remember saying to my husband, we don't even make millions of dollars at this stage. How could somebody want to pay millions of dollars? It was my email list. They saw me out on stages, at conferences, on webinars, hustling, growing my community, and they wanted my email list. A few years ago, we got another offer to buy travel marketing and media, and it was actually by a consortia, and it was for multiple millions. And we said, no, thank you. We knew that they wanted the email address. Your email list is so critical, but you've got to own your website and own your email list. So it is for you, my friend, and I really do hope you sign up. Okay, another question, what is the investment? So the investment is different every season, depending on what we are offering. There's a difference if we're writing the copy for everybody that season or if we're not writing the copy. This particular season, Spring 24, we wrote the copy for everybody. We wrote a copy menu where you have so many choices. Like there's one part of the website that has, you have to put in 3 bits of content, of copy, and we gave you 9 options to choose from. And then we also show you how to mix them together or adjust them or tweak them slightly. So the price, the investment is going to change every time, but also you want to look out for our early bird rate if you can. The early bird is always open for usually around 5 days before the whole opportunity closes. The first 5 days is always the best time that you can jump in and get an early bird rate. So make sure that you look out for those. Go to travelmarketingandmedia.com/website. Okay, next question. Who will host my site? So hosting your site, think of it this way. If your website was a car, your parking space that you rent is hosting. So that's where you can park your car. So your website is going to be hosted by Wix. Now, Wix versus WordPress. This is an Android versus Apple debate. Both of them excellent. Both of them different. Both of them with die-hard fans that will stand on that hill and die for their phone preference. So we used Wix in the very beginning, then we moved to WordPress, and just 1 month ago, we moved back to Wix because Wix blows my mind. We run an enormous business. There are multiple million-dollar businesses, many, hundreds of thousands of million-dollar businesses that operate on Wix. They're just that good. They're just that good with SEO. They're just that good with everything. So your website will be hosted on Wix. What I love about that is that if you were to host your website on WordPress every single week and most days, we would get email notifications when we were on WordPress saying, oh, you have an update to do. Oh, this plugin is broken. It's kind of like when iOS comes out with an update, and you have to update your phone with the latest software, and then some of your apps also would have to be updated as well. That's the same thing with a WordPress website. So you've really got to stay on top of it. Another question, are there any other costs that I will incur? So the hosting or the premium upgrade that you need to do on Wix usually costs you around $13 a month. That is spectacular to run essentially what's the storefront of your business. Depending on what you need, we say just take the least expensive because it removes the Wix ads from it and gives you enough storage space for your images. But as your website grows and you have hundreds of blogs and articles and videos and things, you may need to upgrade over time. But we're talking $20, $30 a month maximum to run your website. And that includes your hosting. The only other cost that you would have, because we supply all of the images for you and all of the copy, the only other cost that you would have is your domain. So your domain would be where your parking space is located, how to get there. And so that's like travelmarketingandmedia.com. It's yourbusinessname.com. You can buy that for $12. I used to recommend everybody to buy it on Google domains, but they have since sent all of their domains over to be managed by Squarespace. They shut down that part of Google. So you would buy it from Squarespace. At the moment, it's $12 a year and then $20 a year for the renewal after that. That's it. You don't have to pay monthly fees or anything for your website. Okay, are there any payment plans? We actually do offer payment plans through Afterpay if you're eligible for that. I love Afterpay. It's a fantastic program. It gives you a lot of financial flexibility without the headache. While they do check your credit in order to be able to give you your interest rate, if you're looking for a 6-month or 12-month plan, that it doesn't impact your credit at all. It doesn't appear on your credit. It doesn't impact you positively or negatively because they do not report to the credit bureaus. What I will say is Afterpay also have an option. If you've used Afterpay before, they have an option and you're in good standing with them. They have an option for interest-free payment plan as well, depending on your situation. Is there a deadline to sign up? There is always a deadline to sign up. And here's something you might not know. The deadline to sign up is it's far out from the actual event because we always need to have a week to 2 weeks to be able to get you ready. Okay, doesn't matter that our websites will all have the same layout. You know what websites all have the same layout? Airlines, hotels, and you don't care and you don't notice because what's important is the individual brand shining through with its brand colors, its messaging, and its images. We have designed the most outstanding layout for this season. It's brand new, so it will definitely look different, not only because of the images and the branding and everything from everybody else, but it will also look different to previous seasons. And we have really paid attention over the years. We have designed over 300 sites for travel advisors, plus had hundreds of people come through website in a weekend. You would consider us way more experienced than any other website designer out there saying that they do things for travel or specialize in travel, because they have definitely not ever. It's not possible that they have done 500-600 websites for travel advisors, and we have. And so we've learned over the years about consumer behavior. We take into account my marketing expertise, Harvard Business School's studies and reviews from MIT that talk about consumer behavior and how they process information on the screen, all of those kinds of things, and giving you the very best layout. Do you need to prepare beforehand? Yes. So there are a few things that you'll need to do beforehand. As soon as you sign up, you get given a guidebook. It is a long guidebook. It's 53 pages. You don't have 53 pages of things to do, but there's a lot of like little help articles and things like, for example, if you don't use Calendly or Acuity or something like that, there is a scheduler that you can use that will help people to make bookings in your online calendar at a time that's convenient for you, with enough notice for you, in order to have a planning session with you or to have a quick phone call with you. Knowing about that kind of software and us explaining it, we can't do that on the weekend itself during the experience because we wouldn't have enough time. So the guidebook has a full article on how these programs work, the calendar programs, whether or not you want to sign up for it, the advantages, the pros, and then next steps if you want to do that so that you can do that in advance. Another example in the guidebook is we guide you on colors and fonts. And so there's a whole section in the guidebook about colors and fonts, and then you can click, because the guidebook's a PDF, you can click on it and then it can take you to where we have 30 font combinations. So if you're like, I do not want to go to all of this effort about learning about fonts, I don't even want to read the article, I'm going to click here and I'm just going to select one of the 30 font pairings that Sandra has suggested. You can do that. You can also do that with your colors, actually. You can just pick from one of our color palettes and be like, I'll take that color palette, or I'll take those two and that one color, and that'll be my color palette. Okay, I want to share with you another travel advisor, the second travel advisor's experience, and this is from Kim. Kim shares her experience on why she signed up, the fears that she had going into the event, and how she worked through it. Kim says, I chose Website in a Weekend because I was ready to graduate from a DIY website with images that were too large and copy that was too wordy and didn't communicate my value or fully explain my services in an effective way. Kim says, going into the weekend, I was excited and open to learning, but also a little apprehensive that I would be writing code and not being able to get through the material in one weekend. I was confident with the direction and editing I would come away with well-written copy that communicated what I wanted with my potential clients. But throughout the experience, I did feel supported and encouraged. There was some level of business coaching in the preparation as part of the weekend that helped me to finally decide to start charging planning fees. And I did it with the launch of my new website. I've always been excited and proud of my business and the services that I provide. But after Website in a Weekend, I finally feel like my website now matches that pride and that confidence, and it portrays it to the world in a well thought out and beautiful format. Kim says the highlight of the experience was opening the template and my new website for the very first time and being blown away by the gorgeous layout that I know would have taken me months of YouTube videos to even attempt to put together half as well on my own. I love that feedback from Kim. All right, let's jump in and answer a couple of more questions. What is in here? What kind of tech experience do I need to have? I love this question here. You do not have to have any experience building a website or coding to know what to do. There is zero coding involved. I truly believe that if you can use Google Drive, Canva, Travefy, Windows, Microsoft Office, you will be fine. In fact, let's just keep it simple. If you can use Travefy or TravelJoy or Tess, you can use Website in a Weekend. That's simple. Okay. So, and then let me do one more question. What if I get stuck and cannot move forward? Listen to this. The only reason that you're going to get stuck on day one is if you are not prepared, i.e. you don't have everything set up and ready to go at your desk, and you're messing around looking for things, trying to figure things out, getting your Wi-Fi up, trying to get a quiet space to do it. So if you come late or you're not prepared, or if you are unable to make a decision and you start getting in your head and overthinking your business. So if you start messing around with your color palette 10 minutes in, an hour in, half of the day in, you're going to get stuck because you needed to have decided your colors before you come to the live experience. Now, that being said, the colors can literally be changed in less than 2 minutes universally across your entire website if after the experience you want to change your colors. But we have seen travel advisors not listen and unfortunately decide halfway through, I hate my colors, I don't like how they look, I'm going to change them, while we are helping to guide you step by step through something, which means that you're going to lose focus and you're going to lose your footing. It's just like some pulling over on the side of the road, asking someone for directions. They start giving you directions, and then you decide that you want to look at Instagram and reply to a comment on Instagram while they're telling you. That moment that you stopped listening and started using your phone was the moment that your attention also stopped and you stopped taking in information. And guaranteed, even if you got the last bit of the instructions, you're not going to find your way. And that's the only reason that people get stuck. You should not get stuck for any reason at all if you are prepared to make a decision and know that you can always come back and change it later. So my friends, I hope that that has helped you. If you have questions, if you aren't sure if Website in a Weekend is a good fit for you, email us. I will get back to you personally. I would love to answer your question. I have told a couple of people that it's not a good fit for them. I remember having somebody tell me that they're still trying to figure out their niche. They still sell general travel to anyone. You're not ready. It's not for you. There are a couple of other reasons that I've told people that they're not ready for it and told them to wait 6 months or wait a year. I don't know if we're going to run a Website in a Weekend again this year. We do not have it on the schedule for the rest of the year. So do yourself the favor, just get in and get it done. You will not be able to drive the caliber of leads that you want in the volume that you want to your website if your website's crappy. Okay. So go to travelmarketingandmedia.com/website. And if this whole done with you thing, the 2 days thing is not for you and you just want us to take care of it for you, then you can find that information on our website too. We have a full white glove situation that's available for you. Love talking to you today. I will see you on the next episode of the Travel, Marketing and Media Podcast. Bye for now. If this podcast episode resonated with you and you'd like to hear more, head over to travelmarketingandmedia.com/podcast to get notified about new episodes and also listen to any that you may have missed. And if you'd like to ask a question about this episode, you can send it there for me to answer on a live Q&A. We'll see you in the next episode.